Besides the what, there is also the question of how much. Portion has always been the focus of diets, but most diets out there have you obsess over calories. The idea is calories in, calories out. So if you eat an X amount of calories and they exceed what the ideal intake is for you, then you need to burn off the same amount of excess calories by exercising. And sometimes that just feels impossible. Or else you're led to believe that by eating less of everything, you would prevent weight gain. Now, none of that is true in reality. As you have already understood, some foods promote better metabolism, while others make you gain weight. And it differs from person to person because of their different blood types. And that's why the idea of calories in, calories out is meaningless. Let me give you an example. I'm a type O, and whenever I eat a piece of grass-fed beef steak, I would lose weight. This may be shocking in the conventional dietary concept, but if you take blood type into consideration, then it makes sense. Grass-fed beef contains a fatty acid known as CLA, which helps us, type O, burn fat. But if you are type A and eat beef, not only will you gain weight, but you will run into digestion problems because you don't have enough stomach acid and digestive enzyme to break down the protein fibers. So if you follow the conventional idea of calories in, calories out, it often leads to deprivation. And you know what happens to our body when it feels deprived? It will resort to all sorts of mechanisms to bring its energy back into balance. When you deliberately try to starve yourself, your body senses the signal that there is a famine around the corner. Its evolutionary reaction is to stock up on fat, especially belly fat, so that it can be released into the body in the form of glucose, which is a quick form of energy. And that's why starving yourself in order to lose weight is never a good idea. It will backfire. That's the reason for yo-yo dieting. And that explains why it's so important to eat the right food that your body can easily assimilate, so that your body will absorb the nutrients completely and the fuel will run very smoothly, rather than, storing the food as excess fat. So now the question is, how much of the right types of food should I eat? The answer is different for different blood types. Let's take a look at the portion of each category of food that each blood type can enjoy each time you eat, and how frequently you can eat them. Now, the suggested portion size and frequency are just guidelines, and you don't have to follow them to a T. However, when you look at the frequency values for all the food categories, you will have a good idea of how much food from each category you will need to eat on a daily and weekly basis in order to optimize your health. First, let's take a look at lean red meats. They include beef, lamb, mutton, venison, bison, etc., but don't include pork, as pork is an avoid for all blood types because it has the highest viral load among all meat due to the way pigs are raised today. So for the red meats that are listed as beneficial, follow these guidelines. Because type A's don't digest meat well, you can skip this category altogether. For type B, if you suffer from fatigue or immune deficiencies, you should eat red meat such as lamb and mutton 2 to 3 times a week, in preference to beef or turkey. For type AB, your digestive system can't handle that much meat, but your body will still benefit from a modest amount. You'll benefit from eating meat like lamb, mutton, and turkey instead of beef. 1 to 3 times a week is sufficient. For type O, you thrive on red meat, so you may eat it almost every day. The more demanding your job or exercise program is, the higher grade protein you would need, and that means grass-fed, antibiotic and hormone-free meat, which help you build active tissue mass, which in turn helps you burn fat. Portion control is important though, because you can eat red meat so often, you need to eat only 2 to 5 ounces each time. Whereas for type B and AB, because you aren't going to eat it as often, eat slightly more, 4 to 6 ounces each time. If you don't want to bother with a measurement, just use a palm-sized portion. That's roughly equivalent to 4 to 6 ounces. Poultry. Poultry is also known as white meat. It's often considered the healthier version of meat, but it isn't necessarily so. For type A, ideally you should remove all meat from your diet. But if you're not used to eating a vegetarian diet, you can transition by eating lean chicken and turkey up to 3 times a week. For type B, you should avoid chicken as the lectins in it can disrupt your digestive system and attack your cells, causing joint or muscle pain and some other problems. However, you can safely substitute chicken with turkey meat, which is neutral. Eat it up to 3 times a week, but no more. For type O, poultry and add variety to your animal protein intake, but they are mostly neutral. Enjoy it 2 to 3 times a week to alternate with your red meat intake. For type AB, you should avoid chicken, but you can still eat turkey up to 2 times a week. When purchasing poultry, make sure it is free-range, pastured, or certified organic, free from antibiotics and pesticides. Fish and seafood. Fish and seafood are the second most concentrated animal protein. For type A, you can eat fish and seafood in modest amounts. Many varieties of fish, such as cod and salmon, are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are protective against type A's tendencies for cardiovascular disease and cancer. Type B thrive on deep-sea fish, such as cod and salmon. Their rich content of omega-3 contribute to your brain, hormonal, and heart health. White-colored fish such as flounder, halibut, and sole are also excellent sources of protein for you. However, you should avoid all shellfish, as they contain lectins that are disruptive to your system. For type AB, fish and seafood are an excellent source of protein, as they are easier to digest than meat. Type O can enjoy a great variety of fish and shellfish. Cold water fish like cod and mackerel are excellent choices, as they contain the much needed omega-3 fatty acids that help you build muscles. Make sure your fish is fresh or wild caught, not farm raised, which can be full of industrial toxins. For all blood types, eat a palm-sized portion 3 to 5 times a week. Eggs. There are different types of eggs, such as chicken eggs, duck eggs, goose eggs, quail eggs, but most of you are used to eating only chicken eggs, so let's focus on that. Chicken eggs are neutral for all blood types, but it can be beneficial based on individual genetic attributes, which is beyond the scope of this presentation right now. I would just say that eggs are a wonderful source of animal protein, and they don't cause high bad cholesterol, as many are led to believe. In fact, research has shown that the culprit of elevated cholesterol are saturated fats and sugar, not cholesterol-containing foods such as eggs. Type A's can enjoy eggs up to 3 times a week, Type B and AB 3 to 4 times a week, and Type O 4 to 8 times a week. Cheese. Cheeses are the domain of Type B and to a lesser degree Type AB. Both types can enjoy a great variety of cheeses. Type B can enjoy it 3 to 5 times a week, whereas Type AB can enjoy it 3 to 4 times a week. Because of its high fat content, you need to limit the portion to roughly 2 ounces each time. For type A, you can enjoy a small variety of cheeses 2 to 3 times a week. For type O, dairy products like cheese, yogurt, and milk don't sit well with you because your body can't metabolize it well, which leads to weight gain, digestive problems, disruption of your gut microbiome, and inflammatory conditions, including sinus problems and allergies. So you're better off not eating any of those. If you do love cheese, there are a few beneficials and neutrals, but keep it to a minimum, 0 to 3 times a week. Milk and yogurt. We have been taught that milk is good for us. They give us calcium and help us build strong bones, right? But the reality is quite different, especially with the industrialized milk, which contains growth hormones. For type A, your body can't digest most commercial dairy products. The sugars in the milk are unfriendly to your gut and encourage the growth of bad bacteria. If you have allergies, dairy products greatly increase the amount of mucus. However, you can tolerate a small amount of fermented dairy such as yogurt, kefir, non-fat sour cream, and cultured dairy products. Eat them 1 to 3 times a week. Soy milk can be a great replacement for milk. For type B, milk and dairy products contain sugar that's very similar to the type B blood type antigen. Therefore, you can digest them very well. In fact, they can fertilize and encourage the growth of type B friendly gut bacteria. So enjoy milk and yogurt 2 to 4 times a week each. Type AB can digest dairy quite well, as your blood also contains that type B antigen that reacts well with dairy products. Enjoy them 3 to 4 times a week. However, like type A, your body is also prone to mucus production. And so if you have sinus issues or ear infections, you should cut back on dairy products. For type O, dairy products are almost entirely off limits because your body just can't digest them properly, and they will cause a lot of inflammatory conditions. Oil and fats. For decades, oil and fats have been regarded as the culprit of excess fat in our body, and many people who want to lose weight shy away from them. The idea applies to some but not for others. Also, the type of fat matters. Hydrogenated vegetable fats are inflammatory and should be avoided by all. Type B and O can tolerate animal fats better than type A and AB. They can eat butter, but type A and AB should avoid it. However, clarified butter, or the Indian version of it called ghee, increases the intestinal microbiome for all blood types. It has anti-cancer properties and can be consumed safely by all in small amounts. For type A, you need very little fat to function well, but a tablespoon of olive oil on salads or steamed vegetables every day will help your digestion and elimination. Olive oil is a monosaturated fat, and it has a positive effect on your heart and may actually lower your blood cholesterol level. Take 2 to 6 tablespoons per week. For type B, olive oil improves your digestion and elimination. Use at least 1 tablespoon every other day and 4 to 6 tablespoons a week for all oils. Type ABs do well with olive oil and walnut oil and small amounts of ghee. The total amount of oils you can eat is 4 to 8 tablespoons per week. Oils and fat are an important source of nutrient for type O. The beneficial ones help elimination and even burn fat. For example, the fat found in grass-fed red meat contains the unsaturated fatty acid known as conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which helps to burn fat. Take 4 to 8 tablespoons a week of all compliant oils. Vegetables are vital to all of us, and they provide essential nutrients to sustain our body in its daily functions and protect us by boosting our immune system with vitamins, minerals, enzymes, phytochemicals, and antioxidants. Recent scientific research has shown how vegetables influence the composition of our gut bacteria. Some are friendly to certain people, while others aren't. But scientists still don't seem to know what the determining factor is. They just know that the key lies in individuality. Now, Dr. Peter D'Adamo discovered that key through the blood type influence on our microbiome years ago. So when you follow the food choices based on your blood type, you are actually already ahead of the curve and there is no guesswork. For type O, vegetables are a crucial part of your diet despite the fact that you thrive on animal protein. Do not skim on vegetables. Many leafy green veggies are good for you, such as kale, collard greens, romaine lettuce, broccoli, and spinach. In fact, I encourage all of you to incorporate some or all of them in your meals as they are either beneficial or neutral for all types. The green leaves are rich in vitamin K, which is fat-soluble vitamin that helps our blood to clot and our wounds to heal. It also helps to keep our bones healthy. Type O should avoid certain vegetables from the brassica family, such as cabbage, cauliflower, and mustard greens, because they can inhibit thyroid function and disrupt the microbiome. You should also avoid many nightshade vegetables such as eggplants and potatoes, as they can induce inflammation. Corn should be avoided too, as its lectins can disrupt insulin function, leading to diabetes and obesity. Load up on your veggies and eat 3 to 5 cups a day. For type A, you thrive on a diet that's predominantly plant-based, so vegetables are your best ally. Most vegetables are beneficial or neutral for you, but a few can aggravate your delicate stomach and digestive system, such as all types of peppers, tomatoes, and the hidden molds in fermented olives. You are also very sensitive to the lectins in potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, and cabbage. Use plenty of garlic and onion in your diet. These are great natural antibiotics and immune boosters. Garlic is good for your blood, and onions contain a powerful antioxidant known as quercetin, which is great for reducing inflammatory reactions in allergies. Eat 2 to 5 cups of raw veggies or 3 to 6 cups of cooked vegetables a day. Of course, you can combine raw and cooked veggies and eat up to 6 cups combined. In addition, you may enjoy 6 to 8 ounces of soy products 4 to 6 times a week. For type B, you too can enjoy many vegetables. Take full advantage of them with 3 to 5 cups a day. There are only a few vegetables that you should avoid, but these vegetables are ubiquitous in the standard American diet, so you should take it to heart. Remove all tomatoes as they contain a lectin known as pan-hemagglutinin, which increases your gut's permeability. This would allow allergens and other elements of free entry to your bloodstream. Remove corn too, as it contains lectins that upset your insulin and metabolism. Also, avoid olives for their molds, which can disrupt your microbiome and trigger allergic reactions. Luckily, you can enjoy potatoes and yams, cabbage and mushrooms, and many other delicious veggies that other blood types need to avoid. Type AB has a wide selection. Nearly all the veggies that are good for type A and type B are good for you as well. One interesting exception is tomatoes. It is neutral for you. Your type seems to be able to avoid the ill effects of its lectins. Eat 3 to 5 cups of veggies every day. Fruits. Like vegetables, fruits are an important source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Everyone can enjoy 3 to 5 ounces or a medium-sized fruit 3 to 4 times a day. For type A, most fruits are good for you. Put more emphasis on the more alkaline ones, such as berries and plums, as they tend to balance off the acidity of the many grains that you can eat. Avoid those with high mold counts, such as melons and honeydew melons. The molds make it hard for you to digest the fruit. Pineapple is an excellent fruit that helps digestion. The core of pineapple is rich in bromelain, a wonderful digestive and anti-inflammatory enzyme. Use it in your smoothies. Tropical fruits like mangoes and bananas are hard for your digestion. Substitute them with apricots, figs, and watermelon, which are high in potassium. For type O, Fruits can be an excellent replacement for breads and pasta. By swapping a slice of bread with a piece of fruit, you'll be able to lose weight much more easily. Stay away from coconut and coconut oil though, as the chemical makeup can cause imbalance to our gut and undo what you're trying to achieve with high protein foods. Type Bs are very lucky in the fruit department. There are many that you should avoid. Try to include at least 2 fruits each day from your beneficial list to take advantage of their medicinal qualities. Type AB fruits of choice are very similar to that of type A and should focus on alkaline fruits. Wash all fruits thoroughly with a mild soap or a mixture of baking soda and vinegar and rinse for at least 2 minutes before eating them. Nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds provide a good source of complementary protein for all blood types. For type A, because you eat very little animal protein, nuts and seeds become an important source of plant protein for you. Walnuts are the most beneficial for you. They contain protein and oils that help your cells get rid of accumulated debris. Pumpkin seeds are also very beneficial. Eat a small handful 2 to 5 times a week. For type B, walnuts are also highly beneficial as they have protective effects on your nerves. There are also many nuts and seeds that are neutral for you. Eat 6 to 8 nuts each time, 2 to 5 times a week. For type AB, eat nuts and seeds in small amounts and eat with caution, paying attention to your digestion. If the beneficial and neutral ones sit well with you, eat the same amount and frequency as type B. Type O can benefit from nuts and seeds too, but they should never replace the high-quality proteins in meat and seafood. If you have gallbladder or colon problems, eat nut butter instead. It's easier to digest. A good way to make your nuts easier for absorption is to soak them overnight, then dehydrate them in low heat with a dehydrator or in an oven for many hours until crispy. Adding a little bit of salt on them, like sea salt or Himalayan salt, makes them a tasty snack, much healthier than the store-bought versions of salty roasted nuts. Beans and legumes. Type A thrives on beans and legumes as they provide an important source of protein. Soybean in particular contains a lectin called genistein that may protect you against certain cancers. It also stimulates the receptors in fat cells that activate fat-burning genes. One of its main flavones has a wonderful healing effect on the delicate linings of your blood vessels. There are also many other beans and legumes that are beneficial to you. Eat 1 cup 3 to 6 times a week. Type B can eat some beans and legumes, but many contain lectins that interfere with your metabolism, causing microbiome imbalance and increasing inflammation. However, kidney beans are very helpful in boosting your metabolism. Eat 1 cup of combined beans and legumes 2 to 3 times a week. Type AB can benefit from a small number of beans and should make soybean products like tofu a main part of your diet. Eat 1 cup 2 to 3 times a week. For type O, beans generally slow down your metabolism of other more important nutrients, but the beneficial ones help increase your intestinal strength and balance your microbiome. Eat them as an occasional side dish, 1 to 2 cups a week at the most. Grains and cereals. Type A generally does well with grains and cereals. You can eat them 1 or more times a day. Try to use whole ingredients and make your own bread, cakes, pasta, and steam your own rice if possible. And stay away from processed products, frozen meals, prepared noodles with sauces, as they usually contain a lot of undesirable additives and other avoid ingredients. Type A can have wheat as a neutral food, but try to stick with sprouted wheat as it is more easily digested. Type B can enjoy a variety of grains and cereals. Rice and oats are excellent choices, and so is spelt, which is an ancient form of wheat. You should avoid products made with regular wheat flour, as wheat contains a lectin that attaches to the insulin receptors in the fat cells. This reduces insulin efficiency and slows down fat burning. Sprouted wheat, on the other hand, is okay for you, as the problematic kernel in wheat is destroyed during the sprouting process. Follow the amount and frequency guidelines that you see here on the screen for different types of grains and cereals. Type AB generally does well with grains and cereals, although wheat is allowed. If you want to lose weight or if you have excess mucus production, avoid or limit its intake. Rice is a better choice for you than pasta. Follow the guidelines that you see here. For type O, grains and cereals are your Achilles heels. Many of the most common varieties cause inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and increase your digestive problems, which should be completely removed from your diet as it interferes with the absorption of beneficial foods, slows down your metabolism, and causes weight gain. My advice for my fellow type O's is to eat compliant grains and cereals sparingly. The last category we're going to look at are juices, teas, and coffees. Type A and AB benefit the most from drinking a glass of warm water and some lemon juice first thing in the morning. It helps you to clear up the mucus accumulated overnight and has a blood-thinning, anti-clotting effect on your blood. As type A and AB have thicker blood than other blood types, this helps your blood flow smoother. For juices, drink alkaline juices such as black cherry juice concentrate diluted with water. Avoid high sugar juices as they are more acid forming. Red wine is good for you as it can reduce the risk of heart disease. Drink a glass up to 3 or 4 times a week. You're the only type that benefits from coffee's antioxidants and enzymes, which work well for your digestive tract and immune system. But drink it without milk or sugar. You can use plant-based milk such as soy milk or almond milk as an alternative creamer. Alternate coffee with green tea to take advantage of their combined benefits. Type B will benefit most by drinking water, juices, herbal, and green teas. Now, coffee, regular black tea, beer, and wine don't do any harm to you, so you're luckier than the other blood types in this regard. If you're used to drinking coffee and black tea, try substituting some of it with green tea because it has a small amount of caffeine and provides antioxidant benefits. For type O, if you drink fruit juice, limit it to those with a low fruit sugar content and try to drink more vegetable juices instead. Pineapple juice is beneficial as it can help you avoid water retention and bloating, which then will help you lose weight. Seltzer, club soda, and green tea are your go-to beverages. Red wine is okay in modest amounts, but not on a daily basis. One big no-no for type O is coffee. It increases the level of your stomach acid, which you already have plenty. It has a long-term effect on the production of your stress hormone, norepinephrine. In the long run, it could have an impact on your insulin and actually cause weight gain. So if you want to lose weight, wean off from coffee and switch it to green tea. A good alternative is yerba mate, a beverage commonly found in South America. It contains matin, which boosts your energy, but without the ill effects of caffeine, and is not addictive. For all blood types, drink water liberally throughout the day. Now let's take a look at herbs and spices. Herbs and spices are more than just flavor enhancers. They can act as powerful immune boosters. In fact, they are the original medicines. Many are rich in antimicrobial essential oils, while others are great sources of antioxidants, immune-enhancing phytochemicals, and fat-burning thermogenic compounds. Try to include your beneficial and neutral spices in your diet on a regular basis. Of course, use them sparingly. You don't need a huge amount to benefit from them. Now, type B and O benefit from warming herbs and spices such as ginger, curry, and cayenne pepper. For type O, sea vegetable and kelp-based seasonings are very good. They are rich in iodine and they are a source of fructose, which is a naturally protective sugar for your intestinal tract. Bladderwrack, a type of kelp, helps to counter the acidity of your digestive tract and reduces the potential for ulcers. Kelp or kombu It's also very effective as a metabolic regulator for you. It's an important food for weight loss. All blood types should avoid white and black pepper. Commercial black pepper, those that you find already ground in a bottle and not the peppercorns, they contain a huge amount of mold, so they irritate your intestinal lining and promotes leaky gut, so avoid them. You can use paprika powder instead. Condiments, sweeteners, and additives. Condiments, sweeteners, and additives need to be treated with care. They should only be eaten in small amounts, and you should eat only the beneficial and neutral ones. Sweeteners like sugar, honey, and maple syrup are neutral for all, but you should stick to a small amount and avoid white processed sugar. Studies have shown that the immune system is sluggish for several hours after ingesting it. Sugar should be treated as a condiment rather than an energy source. There's a subgroup of people under each blood type known as non-secretors, and they make up roughly 20% of each blood group. They cannot process sugar properly, as it can lead to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, so they should avoid sugar entirely. Processed food often contains an enormous amount of sugar or other corn-derived sweeteners, such as high fructose corn syrup and maltodextrin. These types of sweeteners are very harmful and mess up our metabolism and could lead to diabetes, obesity, and other chronic diseases. Blackstrap molasses are a great sweetener or condiment that types A, B, and AB can benefit a great deal of, especially type A, because it's a good source of iron, which type A may lack due to your vegetarian diet. For type O, no condiments, sweeteners, or additives are beneficial. Avoid pickled food, as they can seriously irritate your stomach lining. Type O, A, and AB should avoid vinegar and anything that contains it, including ketchup and mustard. Most additives used in processed food should be avoided. One additive that is ubiquitous is citric acid. Most of it is derived from corn, so that means all types except for A should avoid it. Make sure you read the labels carefully before your purchase. And lastly, chocolate. Chocolate is listed under condiments because you should treat it as such. All blood types can eat chocolate, but only in small amounts and occasionally. Now, if you eat chocolate, make sure you choose at least 70% dark chocolate or above, and also check the label to see if a compliant sweetener is added to it. Enjoy occasionally.